So, what I want to start with is taking a moment to just take a breath together before I start talking about all things magical and awakening. Because I think this is such an important thing for us all to do right now is to remember to come back to the breath. When we stop and we breathe and we focus our attention on the breath, it's a beautiful way to become present, to reconnect to our heart's inner wisdom, our heart's intelligence. And it just feels good. It feels good to allow the intentional breath to flow into the body. So just taking a moment to place your hand on your heart center. The moment that we actually place our hand on our heart center, we're activating the heart chakra, allowing ourselves to give and receive love, the breath of life, life force energy of the universe. And just taking a moment to focus your attention on your feet, on the floor beneath you. Moving your awareness to the backs of your thighs, your buttocks and hips, and feeling that gentle pressure of where you sit, the pressure of the contact of the backs of your thighs and your buttocks on the seat beneath you. And allowing the seat beneath you to completely support your weight. Moving your awareness to your back, noticing where your back makes contact with the seat behind you. Allowing your shoulders to drop down and feeling the weight of your arms, your forearms and hands resting against your body. Allowing your forehead to soften, your face to soften, and your jaw to unclench. And as you allow your awareness to move back to that gentle pressure of your hand resting against your chest. And with each breath that you take, feeling the rise and fall of your chest beneath your hand, following the flow of your breath all the way into your body, through the rise of your chest, and as you exhale, breathing out, what is it that you can release today through your breath? You might like to intentionally release yesterday, last week. You may like to release your concerns and worries, releasing them as you exhale through the breath out to the universe, letting it go. Perhaps there's a tightness in your body that you can release and soften through your breath. Or simply focus your attention on the rise and fall of your chest with each breath that you take. And then taking a moment to allow to arise within your heart's awareness the essence or knowing of someone, something or some place that you feel deep gratitude for. Allowing that sense of gratitude to flow from within your heart center right out into all areas of your body. Softening through gratitude your whole body. And then when you feel ready, opening your eyes. And you're now seeing your life, viewing those around you and yourself through the eyes of gratitude. Because you've just awakened that and activated that within your heart center. Today I'm wanting to talk about my manifesting powerhouse, my archetypal manifesting powerhouse, and that is the shapeshifter alchemist. She is one of my Thrive Factor archetypes. And we all have the ability to manifest. We are living in a world, whether we're consciously aware of it or not, that we daily co-create with universal consciousness. Many of you are already aware, or you may not be aware, that, our thoughts and our feelings and our actions are powerful tools through which we create our life experience. It was no surprise to me when I discovered that the Shapeshifter Alchemist is one of my 4 Thrive Factor archetypes that I have. Because I have always been interested in magic, anything that's mystical, anything that is, I've always been interested in the unseen. What is in this realm of unseen? It's allowed for me to tap into the healer within. I first became a Reiki practitioner in 1998, so I've always felt the presence of universal consciousness, whether that's through spirit, through the angelic realm, through, my higher power, the God consciousness that, I was first introduced to obviously as a child, but my belief and understanding and experience in that went far deeper than anything that was taught to me externally. I've always been able to adapt and be flexible in any situation. I could always adapt myself to, my work environment, my friend circle, different friend circles, the people that I worked with, and meet them at where they're at and communicate with them on the level that they're at. And this has worked in my favor, but it's also led to a lifetime of not knowing where I fit. Well, I don't really fit in with that group, and I don't really fit here, and I don't really fit here. And being a shapeshifter, it's like you can take on the aspects and beliefs and personalities of so many people around you. And recognizing or owning and discovering, well, who am I? What are my gifts? What are my skills? What are my strengths? And what abilities do I have that's uniquely mine? Because often I've felt like, you can take bits, especially, and we do this, we take little bits of truth and beliefs and ideas from so many different resources, spiritual teachers, our friends, our parents, all of these things. And we can get lost, especially as shapeshifter alchemists, we can get lost in all of the noise of, well, who am I today? What part of me am I? And so this has really been my life quest, is this self-discovery, which is why self-discovery is such a huge part of the work that I do. However, knowing this now, especially in the last 7 years, really working with law of attraction, and all of us have, as I said, have the ability to manifest. The beauty of having the shapeshifter alchemist archetype is I now recognize and know how important it is for me to intentionally tune into and tap into the power of this archetype, to work with it in a way that is positive in my life, because, you know, I've certainly manifested things that are uncomfortable, that haven't been positive in my life, because that's what I've been focusing my attention on. And so I use this to call in, you know, I call in the beautiful women that I want to work with, the beautiful experiences that I want to have in my life. And I use the gift of the shapeshifter alchemist to also co-create and manifest experiences in my life and what I want to have show up. You know, and sometimes that's just the magic of the sun shining through. It's the magic of communicating with nature. It's the magic of tapping into my own inner resources and being able to support and help another person to transform and heal through a grief that they're experiencing, through loss or a life experience. The shapeshifter alchemist has a beautiful ability to be able to understand, embody, and heal through grief. And that has certainly supported me in all of the work that I do, all of the healing work, all of the mentoring work, all of the coaching work that I do with so many women. And so I wanted to speak about her today because she's just a beautiful archetype to know that I have to work with actively every day, and to see how often this has actually shown up. And archetypes have been around for hundreds and hundreds, centuries, through Greek mythology, Plato, you know, Carl Jung. We each of us have archetypal aspects within the psyche of who we are. And my Awaken program has really tapped into weaving that archetypal psychology through it. In understanding the strengths of my archetypes, it has supported me in recognizing the potential challenges of each of my archetypes. And I now have the tools and the depth of understanding to honor and support myself through whatever experiences I'm having. And it's also supporting me in working with the beautiful women that I'm blessed to work with. In my last round of my Awaken program, it was so amazing to watch the transformation in the women that I worked with over 4 beautiful months. To see the friendship and the bond that was created, to watch them start to believe in themselves, to watch them start to ask the world and those around them for what they actually wanted in life, to see them step into their own power, to witness them bringing into life the depth of relationships that they wanted to experience, both in new relationships and in existing relationships. To watch them grow in confidence, to be able to ask for the salary that they wanted and get it. And just to see the magic in how they started to see themselves, started to accept themselves in loving ways. It was just such an amazing opportunity. I'm so blessed and so grateful that I was able to work with them in such a beautiful way. My Awaken program is an online program. However, I've been on this journey for 30 years. I first started my spiritual and psychic mediumship development when I was 21. And that was the first time that I went, I want answers. I want to discover more of who I am. What is this power that I feel within me that I don't know how to channel or use? There's something inside of me that's wanting to be released. It's wanting to be expressed. And I just don't know what to do with myself. That obviously has led to me, in 1998 becoming a Reiki practitioner, another form of channeling, of self-discovery, of self-healing, of self-understanding, of self-knowingness. That then has become another way in which I can help and support women to transform and grow and learn to love and accept themselves. The fascination that I have had for the same amount of time of the subconscious mind. Why do we think the way that we do? What makes people tick? And being able to intuitively sense and hear and see the subconscious thoughts of others around me that I have had and played with actively. Since I was, 15, I was like testing this over and over again in my conversations. I would have a conversation with someone, and then the game I would play in my mind was, what are they going to say? And then they would say exactly what I thought they were going to say, which has again become another superpower of mine in all of the work that I do. In being able to identify and recognize the subconscious beliefs and thoughts that are limiting, blocking, and preventing the beautiful people that I work with in stepping into their own power, embodying the beauty and the gifts of who they are before the world told them who they should be. So this has, led me to becoming a coach to work with the subconscious mind in a way that empowers women to step out in the world. And change can feel, I know there can be resistance to change. We're not comfortable with change, but something that shows up regularly for me is a fear. Well, if I do this thing, how is that going to affect my relationships? Now, change, if you change within yourself, because all change first has to begin it's an inside job. We need to be the change we want to see in the world, and that's been proven over and over again in all fields of psychology, spirituality, in the healing realms. It's all starts within. Of course, and transforming and transformation is also something that is a part of the archetypal psychology of the shapeshifter alchemist. What if the change, the positive change that occurred within you actually improved your relationships? This has been my personal experience. I had that fear in the very beginning of my reawakening. I really questioned my relationship. Is this the right relationship for me? We're on two different planets now. What is this going to look like? Does this mean I now need to leave? And what I recognized and what I learned for myself was, no, this is all about this, changing what no longer serves for me. And the beautiful byproduct of that has been growth in the other person that I didn't have to initiate or do anything about. Because the more that I embodied self-acceptance and self-worth and self-love, cells speak to cells. So what I was transforming and transmuting and healing on a cellular level within myself had the same effect, positive effect, on the people around me. So there was a beautiful deepening and strengthening of relationship. Conversations were able to be had in a deep and meaningful way boundaries were able to be set in healthy, loving ways. It actually had the complete opposite result of what I was fearing. It also, what if it means that you are able to feel confident enough to go to your manager and say, you know what, I actually do this, this, and this. Can we have a conversation about salary? What if it actually meant that you really acknowledged the strengths and the gifts that you have in your workplace and decided that now is the right time to apply for the different job that you've always dreamed of? What if it meant that people around you valued and respected you on a much deeper level? They saw you, they heard you, they acknowledged you because you are doing the same for yourself. And you're the one that's in control of change. It doesn't all have to happen at once. It happens in baby steps. I have invested so much money over the years in my own personal and spiritual development. And in the Awaken program, you get the best of all of that for a tiny fraction of the cost. I'm saving you thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars by having you work with me because I've already done the work. What I loved about the mentoring calls, you get 10 group online mentoring calls with me. And what I loved most about them, I loved every one of them, was the friendships that were built, the beautiful connections, a sacred space where you can feel safe to be vulnerable, to bring up whatever you're dealing with in that moment. And we work through it together with all my years of intuitive spiritual mentoring and guidance, all of my coaching experience, and through the lens of the archetypes. I am a certified and licensed Thrive Factor archetype profiler and coach, as well as a meditation teacher and healer. Everything that I do is actually in this program. So it's self-paced, you work online, and we come together every fortnight in a beautiful call to work through, to talk about, to discuss and share your experience in a beautiful, safe container. Because I pride myself. This is also one of my superpowers, is being able to hold incredible, healing, sacred space. One that is loving, respectful, safe, and sacred. So if you have wanted to work with me before, this is the ideal way to do it, because, we work in a world now where it's virtual. And, I love that no matter what you bring to the table, there will be something that I have in my toolbox, if it's not included in the program, to share with you. There's so much more that I get to share in the mentoring calls. And it's fun and it's exciting. And we all need this right now. So if you would like to know more about it, I would love to have a conversation with you. So drop a comment or send me a message and we can organize the time to have a chat. So much love to you all. Namaste, blessed be. Have a wonderful day. Bye.